good to hear that. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but a few hundred years ago, we didn't see cancer as a very common disease, right? I think it was kind of a rare thing. Maybe only the real genetic cancer happened back then, which was a rare thing. That's what I see in studies. It was a rare condition. But nowadays it's a very common condition, right? Everyone knows someone that has cancer pretty much. So it's pretty crazy. So that brings us, it's difficult to ignore that our habits, our food habits, or maybe lifestyle changes are causing the problem, right? So what do you think it's causing the mitochondria problems in the cancer cell? Do you think it's more the food, more the lifestyle, more the toxins, or excess carbs, refined foods, vegetable oils? Do you have any idea about that?
Yes, every one of those things that you just listed. It's not one thing, it's the whole bag of them. So, we have moved now to international agriculture. So we grow foods in all different parts of the planet that are shipped all over the world. The types of treatments, the soil, the quality of the soil, the types of treatments that are being used to keep the bugs away. The food industry itself has become international. Foods that can remain on shelves for days or weeks or months, that are nutritionally deplete in various types of things. High in very high in carbo and wasted energy, very high in sugar. Mm-hmm. So you put together all of these kinds of conditions, and it's also convenient. This has all been designed for the consumer, and who is the consumer? We are the consumer. Food science and technology have made these foods incredibly tasty, full of sweetness and goodness and tasty, But we have to put together, where did all this food come from? How is it processed? What is it doing to the vital minerals and nutrients in the food? Together with a less exercise in the workplace, commuting in cars, toxins in the environment. You put it all together, and what we have is a systemic inflammation in the body from a variety of assaults that will lead and predispose us to cancer. So, and as I said, the cancer cannot happen in a cell that has healthy respiration. Cancer only happens in cells where they have damaged respiration. So how do you protect your cells from damaged respiration? Therapeutic fasting, but very hard to do. Most people on the planet don't want to do this. Who does? I don't want to do this, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, I got to stop eating for a week so I don't get cancer. Is there another way? Can you tell me another way that I can get around this?
Yeah.
Well, ketogenic diets can do it, but a lot of people don't like ketogenic diets. There's no carbohydrate. It doesn't taste good. And then if you can find a ketogenic diet that does taste good, people say I'll eat more of it and see if I get healthier. No. You get insulin insensitivity and dyslipidemia. So you have to have people that understand, what's going on here. I think it's a balance of, we cannot deprive ourselves of the technological advances in food and drink and all of the things in our diet and lifestyle. But we have to know they also put us at risk for developing cancer. But if we can develop a habit of moderation, which again, human beings are not moderate. They're extremists in every way. They don't. Right. They don't either do one thing or the other to the maximum. Yeah. The guy the moderate guy. He doesn't. He's in a minority on the planet. I don't care what society you're in. The moderate. The moderate guy is like. But most of these guys are either they're all or none type of people. So we always have to adjust that, because cancer was unknown in primitive societies. Eskimos. People, jungle tribes in Africa or even in the Amazon. I mean, these people don't get cancer. They never had cancer. They didn't have a word for cancer. So it only became a plague as our technology in food and science advanced. And all of these things come together to put us at risk. And another thing you mentioned about the real genetic cancers, they're really not. Those are also secondary effects. This is a difficult concept for people to understand. Because we know that BRCA1 mutation causes cancer in some people, just as the Li-Fraumeni P53 mutation causes cancer in some people. But those mutations encode proteins in or affect the function of the mitochondria. So is it So if we look at the whole spectrum of cancer-causing agents, some of it's radiation, some of it's chemical carcinogen, some of it's virus, all of the origins that we have found, they all impact on that function of that organelle. So all of those causes are secondary. The primary cause is damage to the respiration of the cell, which can be caused by a chemical, a virus, or an inherited gene. So that doesn't make cancer a genetic disease. It's still a mitochondrial metabolic disease, just happen to have an initiating factor coming from the genome. Whereas another person has the same kind of cancer who initiated from a chemical. But they both share mitochondrial defect. Now, how we know those rare mutations are not the origin, because we have rarely found a cancer that's 100% penetrant. Because there are some people who have BRCA1 mutation, they never get breast cancer. You only get breast cancer if the mutation actually disrupts the function of the mitochondria. So again, the mitochondria becomes the prime organelle and the origin of the disease. Mitochondrial destabilization is the origin of cancer. No question about this. This is the origin of the disease. If you want to prevent the disease, you prevent your mitochondria from becoming damaged. And how do you do that? You take diet and lifestyle conditions that keep your body in a healthy metabolic state. And it's very, very, very unlikely that you will ever get cancer if you can maintain that. As you age, more and more factors in the environment cause damage to your mitochondria. You get more older people get cancer than younger people. So all this becomes completely understandable when you view it as a mitochondrial metabolic disease. That gives you power to manage the disease.